Welcome everyone to Game Scoop Thursdays, episode 12, which is Halo Month, episode 1. This podcast is not a natural formation. I'm your host, Alex O'Connor. Joining me here today is Mr. Jeremy Jones.
Hiya!
Also joining us is Terence Thompson.
What's going on?
Also, Jordan Hensley is back this week.
Greetings, fellow Spartans.
And we have Robert Logan Clark joining us for Halo Month.
Roger.
So, quick rundown of the show. We've got a few short discussion topics. Then we're going to discuss the new trailer for Halo Nightfall, the Remaking a Legend documentary for Halo 2, unlockable armor for Halo 5 in the Master Chief Collection, the Gravemind cutscene graphics comparison, Halo 2 Anniversary Cinematic Launch Trailer, the Zenith walkthrough, and Forge gameplay. And then we're just going to talk about some of our favorite Halo moments from the franchise and Halo 2 in general. So let's just talk about a little bit about what we've been playing this week. Logan, why don't you start us off?
I've gone full farmer in Destiny. I've got a nice little farm for Relic Iron. And what's been really fascinating for that has been the player cooperation. Because usually people online are complete douchebags.
Well, yeah.
But here, on this little Relic Iron farm, people will get in groups without joining parties or anything, and I'll actually wait for you to open the chest, so everyone's caught up, so they don't mess up the rest of the farm.
That sounds cool. I remember that used to happen a lot when we were playing co-op.
Huh. All right, Jordan, how about you? What have you been playing this week?
Currently, I am still playing Star Wars The Old Republic. I have 2 more characters to get to 55 to be completely set on all advanced classes. I picked up Project Spark yesterday for the Xbox One, which I am only barely getting started. It is a lot to take in at once. And Shadows of Mordor. Going pretty well.
All right. Terrence, how about you?
Me, I actually went ahead and took a step back in time, and I started playing Chrono Trigger again in its entirety. I'm actually attempting to beat this game 100% again, trying to unlock all the extra endings and everything with that. So this is going to be a while before I get completed with it, but that's what I've just been investing a lot of time in Chrono Trigger.
Very nice.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Jeremy, how about you?
Been playing Civilization Beyond Earth, and a little bit of been watching a lot of Shadow of Mordor, and other than that, Destiny.
Leisure.
Shut up.
I have been playing Sunset Overdrive, which
very nice.
is the best game I've played all year. I know, Jordan, at least when I was texting you about it, there were just some moments that I got into that game where I just had to stop playing, put the controller down, and just laugh. It's hilarious. It's a lot of fun. And just for spoilers' sake, I'm not going to say anything, but this is one of the best moments I've had in gaming, and it involved trees, song, and just complete and a castle and catapults. It was fun. So yeah, anybody who's played Sunset Overdrive up to that point, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's hilarious. So yeah, let's move into the short discussion topics, which Far Cry 4 has gone gold, which
yes.
When a game has gone gold, it just basically means it's finished, it's ready to be boxed up and sent away. So Far Cry 4 is done, and that releases November 18th, along with Dragon Age Inquisition, and I believe the PS4, Xbox One, and PC versions of Grand Theft Auto 5. Next thing, the big alpha for Evolve has been delayed on the PS4 due to problems with the 2.00 firmware update. So that's unfortunate for all the PS4 players, but Xbox One and PC has remained unaffected by that. Also, the release date for the first Destiny expansion has been announced. So, Jeremy, why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
First one's going to end up being the Dark Below. As far as we know, it has to do with the Hive summoning their fun little god. Oh my god, blanking on the name. Is it Crota?
Crota.
Yeah, Crota.
I think it's Crota.
They're fun little god, Crota. I am assuming, as Guardians, we are supposed to be stopping them. More relevant, perhaps, than the actual story is what you actually, or what they actually have planned for everything else. They have new exotics, new weapons overall, new armors. The light level has been increased to 32, which will be kind of interesting to see how they're going to accommodate that. But because they added a new raid into in that DLC. In addition, you get like 3 story missions, I think. There's also a new vendor at the tower that will offer something called quests, which we haven't gotten before. So we're going to see how that plays out. And probably most exciting for me, anyway, is that all exotic weapons and armor are going to get an ultimate upgrade at the very end of them to keep them competitive with the gear that you can get from the Dark Below. In order to get these ultimate upgrades, you need exotic armor shards or exotic weapon cores, depending on if it's weapon or armor. And those will allow you to unlock the end upgrades for each exotic weapon and armor. So if you're hanging on to an exotic, don't throw it away just because they have new ones coming out. They also have mention of 2 items that we have no idea if they're actually going to get used yet. There were 2 new ones you can get from the raid, I think, that's currently here, including materials for what looks like blueprints, and that's been postulated that those are going to involve creating your own exotic weapons, but whether or not that's actually going to happen, we don't really know yet. So that's about it for the Dark Below updates that we've gotten so far. And they're going to be doubling your bounty slots, so that's kind of cool too.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm. So you can actually have 10 of them instead of having 3 of them taken up by exotic weapon bounties and not being able to do anything.
Yeah, and that's also going to be our December giveaway here on GameScoop Thursdays. So more details on that later this month. But for now, since we are broadcasting from the UNSC Infinity, it is Halo month. So as we warned in last week's podcast, from here on out, the entire podcast will be about Halo. So if you don't want to hear us go on and on and on about one of the largest game franchises of all time, stop listening now. If you want to hear us, if you want to continue to hear us talk about Halo, keep listening.
What you're doing, I guess.
So first up, I think we discussed this on last week's episode, but now since Logan is here, he is the one that told me about some of the theories that are going on with the trailer. So we did get a new Halo Nightfall trailer. So Logan, why don't you just better explain some of those theories that are going on with that trailer right now?
Okie dokie. So, main thing we saw in that trailer, besides Locke being awesome, and, I got a cough. Sorry. Working man cough. You guys know how it is.
Straight up.
So, in the trailer, we see some important things. We see a blue Hesteros Zealot. So, he pretty much looks like Jul Madama, but he lacks the white dyed-out hand. So, it's likely that he is part of Jul's Covenant. Or he could be a mercenary, kind of like the Covenant that the New Colonial Alliance employed during the Battle of Lynn 4 and Halo Escalations issues 1 through 3. So, there's that. Either a mercenary or part of Jul's Covenant for that Zealot. And it seems like whatever the element or compound or virus or whatever it is, the popular theory is that he's holding it in that looks like a little plasma grenade, but it's probably just some kind of canister while he's falling into that crowd of civilians. You don't want to be a crowd of civilians ever. Just don't do it.
I totally thought that was a plasma grenade. It wasn't?
It could be, but I think it's more likely a canister. I mean, it could be a plasma grenade. We don't know yet. But I think it more likely it's a canister holding the element or compound.
Now, I've only watched that video one time.
Maybe they found... an hour
ago, but I didn't feel like that scene had any relevance to that entire trailer.
Well, actually, if it's what Logan's talking about, perhaps it does. Maybe they found a way to put the element...
Well, I mean,
maybe they found like a way to get the element in a gaseous state, if it's not already, and put it inside of a plasma grenade. So that's what he's throwing.
That's why Locke and his team are there in the first place, because of terrorists. And, well, loosely used term there, terrorists, but it should be noted that Jul Madama's Covenant faction is referred to as a terrorist group, since they are not part of Arbiter Belvadum's Covenant that controls St. Helios and most of the St. Heli colonies.
Okay.
Terrorist.
Oh, yeah, because they developed that, the virus or whatever that only targets humans and only humans.
Right.
Yes. There are two... We saw those worm things in the trailer.
That's the worm things.
Now, there's two popular theories for this one. We're going to start with the one I don't think is as likely, but it does have some more outside evidence pointing towards it. One possibility is that it's actually just some molecular worms. Very fascinating if it is, because we see them moving freaking fast and possibly freaking killing people.
Yeah.
That's terrifying. I mean, if you imagine shooting up a hunter, thinking you killed it, and then just all the freaking worms jump on you and burrow in your skin from the inside out. Go in, get out, eat you alive. I mean, think about it. These worms. Their main diet was Forerunner metals, was Forerunner relics before they joined the Covenant. So they would have no problem going through you.
It's high in iron.
It is. I mean, a little calcium too. It's good for the.
It's good for the worm. Yeah.
Now, the more evidence pointing towards Lecolo worms is just kind of like some skulls involved, and you get in the Master Chief Collection from watching Nightfall.
Yeah, I saw that. The armor.
Yeah, there is armor, but I guess you unlock some of the...
I'm talking about the skulls. And that's
the skull modifiers to modify the campaign.
One of them involves Megalecolo, and to unlock the skull, you got to watch Nightfall. So it's kind of like, well, let's put two and two together. Okay.
Yeah,
that's the first theory. Second theory.
But now, episode 1 of the Nightfall only comes in the Master Chief Collection. What about 2 through 5?
It'll be like a weekly thing, kind of like Forward and Dawn was. Remember?
Through Xbox Live.
Yes, through the Halo channel, which releases on November 11th with the Master Chief Collection.
The first episode will be airing on Halo Fest. So it's not, for us on the East Coast, that's not as great, because by the time it probably airs on Halo, because Halo Fest starts like 10 p.m. on the West Coast, I think, or
something like that. I don't know.
It's some kind of time.
I think Halo Fest
really
takes
to East Coast people.
Halo Fest starts a few days before the 11th, doesn't it?
It does, but that's only going to show the Halo 2 anniversary competition. The actual juicy stuff, like for Nightfall, the first look at Halo 5 Guardians beta is on the late 10, like I said, like Sunday. No, why did I say Sunday? Today is Sunday. Late that. Oh my god, my voice. Late of that night. So when we're at GameStop, pretty much you're releasing all this juicy stuff. Unless you live kind of more left. And left, I mean west. Left is west. Fact. Watch Discovery Channel sometime. Yeah. So, I got off topic. Second theory is that it is return of our favorite little parasite, the Flood.
That sounds more like the Flood's MO. eating someone from the inside out, rather than the hunter. But I am kind of excited to have the hunters in something live action, because that would be kind of interesting.
It would.
Well,
You haven't seen Forward into Dawn yet, have you?
I haven't, no.
Okay.
Hunters.
Yeah.
Hunters are awesome.
Spoiler.
Spoiler. All right. Yeah, because I know we were talking about that, and that's actually people think that it's the that the flood may have taken over whatever crashed in that ship in the terminal.
that is a very popular theory indeed.
I like that theory.
It's I don't want to get my hopes up, me being mega skeptile again. I know, but
Right. What theories are there to think about?
I think more likely. So, I mean, we haven't seen any kind of flood forms that are like worms. So, I think it's possible that the flood have adapted. They have kind of mimicked like a Lecolo type deal. Kind of mimicked their infection forms off them for some reason. As to why the flood is only selectively targeting humans instead of, I guess, saying Healy, as we see Duracell, it doesn't. It's part of that terrorist group dealing with the compound. It's very, very similar to how the flood started off in the Forerunner trilogy, with the humans in Sanshiam starting off as a powder. It started off as just this little powder that the humans in Sanshiam, or prophets, if you don't know. Once upon a time, there was an ancient alliance. Very ironic.
Yeah, they don't much like us anymore.
Not at all.
But either way, so both us and them, or more so us, I guess, since they didn't have would feed this powder to these like pet things, which I guess are kind of like dogs, whatever they were, some kind of made up animal, and it made them more docile. And so people kept doing that, but slowly over time, defects started to happen. And for some reason, of course, you've got these weirdos out there that eat the pets. And so these defects start happening to people and spreads. And this is the same thing happening to the Sanshiam as well. And then, bam, bam, you got freaking flood combat forms. I know it kind of hops from powder to flood combat forms, but
it's okay.
That's how the initial infection spread. So, but basically the point of this origin story is the flood, and even like in its primal form, kind of has a basic plan. It can select and choose who to infect and what the rate is, how fast, or not do it at all. So that's the main points for the flood theory. But those are the two theories. Third theory, not very as popular as that. It's just whatever was in that ship in the terminals when Halo Combat Evolved Immigrant Story. But I don't find that very likely since the 7 things died in there. And, wait, what did you say?
I said a lot of theories.
Yeah,
there's
theories.
Luckily, we'll get to find out soon enough.
Right, yeah, only a few short days away. And I don't know why that just got me thinking of a midnight release. If you are wondering where Jamie is, she's currently at the midnight release for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. As we all found out, because as we were calling everyone here on Skype, suddenly the entire store was online. So we decided that it was probably best not to have an entire GameStop store on the podcast at the same time. So that is why she is not joining us here today.
But if you enjoy that sort of thing, let us know, and we'll broadcast the next midnight launch that they're at.
Yeah, why not? So moving on, they released Remaking Legend, which is a Halo 2 documentary, and I mean, watching that, it can really hit you right in the feels and bring you back
Oh man, your feels will not be
2000.
ready.
No,
You-
they won't.
Even if you prepare mentally, you will just. Oh man, 343 Industries.
Yeah,
just
the
hit
video
us
wasn't
with a
long
fucking
enough.
Steel hammer.
Right, the video wasn't long enough. I agree.
Oh yeah, an
I
hour
wanted
long,
more.
and still not long enough.
I think my favorite part had to be when they started talking about the music, and then nobody except for Malika could do the theme, but yet they were all like, "Oh yeah, the theme is so iconic." It goes like, oh, that's not it." So, it was really amusing to see that. So yeah, I mean it was great, and then just to hear Martin O'Donnell talking about how we had no contract up on this, nobody knew about this, but John Mayer provided some guitar for the soundtrack. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I had no idea.
No, I did not expect that at all. I mean, just hearing how many people wanted to get involved with Halo 2, like the one guy, I forget his name unfortunately, but he went and started the record company to release video game soundtracks because of Martin O'Donnell, the first Halo game. And the fact that Martin O'Donnell came up with the theme for Halo in 30 minutes as he drove to Mike Salvatore's house, that was great. There's so many good things that you can take away from that video.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the Making a Legend video yet, definitely go check it out. It's a great documentary.
It is.
Even if you're not a Halo fan, it's great to just listen to the pure excitement behind something that you have a passion for. Like, even if video games is your calling or isn't, if you're some kind of 3D animator, anything, if you're just into music, it's great. You'll take something from it regardless.
Definitely. It's only just over an hour long. It's something around an hour and 4 minutes, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think so.
Not terribly long, and it's just an amazing thing to watch.
And you get to see some juicy, even if it's only like 10 seconds in total, get some juicy look into the prologue and epilogue of the MCC with Agent Locke and Arby.
Right, yeah. Alright, going on to the next subject is you get some unlockable armor. If you play the Master Chief Collection, you get unlockable armor for Halo 5. And I think there were there's 4 sets. First one you can get is...
kind of.
What do you mean? Oh,
well, it was really just
okay,
kind of...
yeah,
it was more like 3.
Technically, one
it was
could
kind
be
of like... The second one was kind of more like a skin. I was considered like a skin, pretty much.
Maybe. I think it was just to show distinction between, battle worn versus brand new.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I would consider that like a skin rather than a completely different armor.
Alright, well,
Just like... But, I mean...
that is true, but, I mean...
It's still cool, though.
Yeah.
It's
First one you can unlock, well, not technically the first one, it all depends on how you go, but first one that was announced was the Mark 6 Gen 1, and how you unlock this one is you have to earn the Your Journey Begins achievement in the Master Chief Collection. That will unlock the helmet and armor. Then the second one, or the skin, whichever one you prefer to refer it as, is Mark 6 Gen 1 Scarred. And you get this by earning the Cairo Station achievement, and that will unlock the helmet and the armor. The third one is called Helioscryl, and that will probably be the most difficult of the 4 to get, and that is earning the Legend achievement in the Master Chief Collection, which is beating all campaigns on Legendary. That will unlock the helmet and armor for you. And then Nightfall is the last you can get. If you watch Halo Nightfall Episode 1 Second Story, you unlock the helmet. And by watching all 5 episodes, you unlock the armor. So they look really cool. The original story is over on IGN. We also have the article posted on our website. And reference, of course. We have a reference from IGN in there. So... you can look it up on either site, whichever you prefer. But those will be pretty cool to unlock, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to getting the Helioscryl.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Nightfall. I'm definitely
Interrupt
not
here.
able to.
Objection. I don't actually know that refers some kind of video game that refers to some kind of lawyer. I think. I don't know, something from Japan.
What?
But I want to talk about Helioscroll and Nightfall. Which your viewers who have not seen the Nightfall armor, it's pretty much ODST armor with overalls, but somehow it still looks pretty epic.
Yep. Well, that's because it's an ODST trooper. You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with ODSTs.
And you can't go wrong with
you drop
overalls.
into hell in every battle.
You gotta have your britches up in battle. When you're dropping into hell, make sure your pants don't fall down.
Yep.
I mean, that would be like the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah. I mean, your pod could break open.
Or
I
you
think
could
I'd
drown
think
in
I'd
your
rather
pockets
have
and
that
all
as
that.
long as my pants were on.
Like you can
Die
even
with
burn up an
dignity.
atmosphere.
Right, like I'd rather
guy.
fall through the sky with pants on.
Yeah, that might keep you alive for a minute longer. I think your flesh will burn less quickly at that point.
Yeah, hopefully.
But Helioscroll. And I want you guys to bounce back some opinions on this as well. The fact that Helioscroll, which kind of looks like Pathfinder on steroids.
It kind of makes me think of some Elite armor from Halo 3.
Yeah, it does kind of have that Halo 3-esque Sangheili combat harness look to it. That's
Or at
because
least the helmet does. Forget which one it was from Halo 3, but it almost looks like one of those ones. I think one of the first two that you unlock.
let's see, there's Commando, Flight, Ascetic,
Commando was the first.
I think it was
one, wasn't
aesthetic. Aesthetic.
Assault. Assault was the second one. That was
Oh.
default.
I mean, I'm pretty
For
sure
the-
it's
for
aesthetic.
The
'cause-
Elites in Halo 3?
yeah,
Dude, the aesthetic armor was like some of my favorite though.
I'm pretty sure it's that one that I'm thinking of, but Helioscroll reminded me of that. At least the helmet portion.
Yeah. And that is because Helioscroll is, as far as we know, the only Myono armor ever designed by a Sangheili.
That is true.
To quote, the Helioscroll armor was a work of art crafted by Sangheili prodigy, inspired to test her skill against the best humanity could muster. So not only is it an elite, but it's also a female elite. So,
I mean, women can fight. I'm
Not
pretty
la-
sure
not
some of those
la-
elites I fought against sounded like chicks.
There is a possibility.
I mean, most of the grunts were female, I'm pretty sure. Or
I
6-year-old
don't-
boys.
well, the Envoy do have a matriarchal society, so. But I'm pretty sure most of them we fight are in-game or male.
well, if
How-
you read the Kilo 5 trilogy, you learn a lot about Sangheili females and how tough they are. So they have to raise the children, pretty much. Stuff. So, I mean, if you look at the battle-hardened elites, you know, they were raised by females and whatnot, so pretty much anyone in Sangheili culture can fight. So just
Yeah,
that
I
type
mean,
of
Every
Sure.
great elite is a woman.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, unlockable armor looks like elites, and moving on to the Gravemind cutscene graphics comparison between
Ooh.
Halo 2 and Halo 2 Anniversary.
I mean, it was
Which-
great, but it freaked me out.
Well, it's supposed to. It's a
Yeah,
grave.
new Gravemind looks even creepier than original Gravemind.
I'm like, what is this talking mouth?
Okay, the original
And I was
Gravemind, I will say, kind of just looked like a big plant.
Yeah, that's why they called Bungie nicknamed it Audrey too, because
Yeah, exactly.
now the
I mean-
original concept of the Gravemind though was actually pretty scary because original like concept art, the Gravemind was supposed to have skulls for teeth.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm
Yeah,
glad they
I
didn't
mean it
do
still kind
that.
of looks like, I mean all concepts of it looked like a plant, but I mean a skull for teeth would have been pretty creepy.
And unfriendly.
Well, yeah, he's not a very friendly fellow.
I mean, he kind of seemed nice.
I mean, the Master
What's it-
Chief was listening to him pretty well.
He seemed nice enough.
The Arbiter, on the other hand, was not.
Yeah.
Relax. I'd rather not piss this thing off.
Yeah, right.
And then the chief even got some recognition from Gravemind. This one's got it together. You, on the other hand,
you are more
full of crap.
deluded.
Yeah.
Basically, everything that you know is a lie. That's basically what the Gravemind told him.
Well,
everything the Arbiter knows is a lie.
That's because they're brainwashed, but moving on.
I really enjoy the part. I really enjoy that part that after the Gravemind sends the chief and the Arbiter off to wherever they to their locations they go to next. I really enjoy how he drops the Master Chief off in High Charity, and he's just in the Prophets as the Prophets are giving their message, and he just pops up and he's like, "Oh, boo."
Boo.
Oh, to that little grunt? Yeah.
It's just like,
dude, that was a smart grunt. He got out of there. He knew he didn't have a chance.
It's like, let's take the best soldier that humanity has ever produced and just drop him in the middle of the Covenant Holy City and see what he does.
Yeah.
Let's just do it because, why not?
But I thought it was interesting.
I thought it was just me. They're using the same vocal audio, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yep.
They are remastering. What is it? The music is being remastered for some of it.
Yes, the music is being.
Music and the weapon sounds.
Actual,
Thank goodness.
One reason being, now I think that they redid the dialogue for Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary, but for this one they couldn't really do it because one, the Prophet of Mercy's voice actor died pretty soon after Halo 2.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's not been unheard of to cast different people.
And that's what they did for CISA, a heretic leader for the terminals. They had Jake the Dog / Bender / Fruit Chieftain doing his voice.
Miranda Keyes, her voice actor changed between Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Same with the Prophet of Truth.
Yes.
In unrelated news, Miranda no longer looks like a potato.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody remembered Miranda in...
Jeremy, did you see the picture that I put under your name for the Halo 2 review?
I don't know. I didn't see that one yet.
Okay.
Because, Miranda looked like a potato. Actually, all the way up through... Yeah, it was bad.
I don't think she's supposed to be a really pretty woman.
Well, no, but her face had 5 polygons. She had the nose going on, and the rest of the face was just texture. It looked particularly bad. John. Well, okay. Now that I look back at Johnson, he looks kind of dated.
Speaking of Johnson, that reminds me from the Remaking the Legend documentary. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure everybody who saw this picture has the same reaction. But when 343 first saw Blur's cutscene that contained Johnson, they're like, oh, okay, here's this real man. What is he doing in our video game? Pretty sure everybody had that reaction, because as soon as I saw it, I'm like, no, this is a live-action trailer.
That there is a very particular lighting situation for him. And that particular cutscene, he looks very good. So it's obvious that they picked that one to show off. But I have seen a lot. The other ones that they've released don't quite meet that same level of craziness. Yeah. Especially with things like the Master Chief, for example, in Halo 2 was actually really detailed in Halo 2, especially in comparison to Halo 1. They actually put a lot of effort into the Master Chief.
Well, that's because he got a brand new suit of armor as well.
Exactly, and they could do that. And now they can't really add more to it. So
they just made him shiny.
Exactly. The upgrade for Master Chief, for example, from Halo 2 to Halo 2 Anniversary was reflective coding.
Yeah,
exactly.
I will say he looks the least upgraded between all of them, whereas I'm pretty sure Sergeant Johnson and Ultron are going to team together, because they'll just be singing, "I'm a real boy now," just from what they look like. So,
the only problem I had with
strings
the remake
attached
of Johnson was that he did not have a cigar in his mouth
at the time, but I don't think he did in that cutscene either.
No, he doesn't. That's what hurt me, because in all the Halo games, he is always seen with a cigar, except for when he shows the chief to get the next set of armor at the beginning of Halo 2.
Now, this cutscene in particular that we're talking about with Johnson, that wasn't in Halo 2 originally, as far as I know.
Right. I don't think it was either.
No, because that should be on the level outskirts when you're about to get in the Scorpion tank and roll across the bridge. But that cutscene in particular went a different way in the original Halo 2, so this could be additional dialogue added into it. So, but Johnson, he'll have a cigar, which is an Easter egg that they put in Forward Unto Dawn. General Black is actually smoking a Sweet William cigar in one scene in Forward Unto Dawn. So, the cigar stays in the Halo franchise no matter what.
It has to.
Yeah, so just, this cutscene comparison, it was great. it was very amusing. You know, I say I was really enjoying seeing the whole 2004 and 2014 running side by side. It was just really amusing to see that.
Yeah, having them running side by side is really kind of it shows the differences that they've made in there. Even earlier was with the 1080p 60 frames a second Halo 3 release, like they didn't do anything significantly to the graphics with the Halo 3 that is being released on the Master Chief Collection, but kicking it up to modern standards at 1080 60 is really makes it shine a lot more. Because what was the resolution of Halo 3 when it came out? Because wasn't it running at like weirdly gimped 720p or something like that? I forget. But Halo 3 was not running at a full 1080p when it came out, as I don't think it was really a huge standard back then. Halo 2, I am going to be interested to see how it plays, considering they aren't actually having proper 1080p on there as well, but rather like the equivalent of 900p in a weirdly skewed aspect ratio. So I do want to see how that's going to look when you're actually playing. Because I don't imagine it'll take anything away from it, but it's just going to be interesting.
I thought I just came up. I thought this might be interesting to have you and a friend sitting in the same room, running the original Halo games alongside someone running the Master Chief Collection, and just so you have.
If
right
you're talking
there
about like the
side-by-side
original, like I need to dig up my old Xbox, then yeah, that would be kind of cool. So yeah, that'd be kind of awesome. Because it's even more extreme than just switching back and forth, because even switching back and forth, they still buffed the resolution for the old one. So it's going to look better than the original one did anyway.
That'll be highly amusing. Maybe we should do that.
It'd be an interesting comparison.
Yeah.
Goodness, it's been forever since I played Halo 2, though. I'm going to have a lot of fun going through the Master Chief Collection.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to have all the fun with those Jackal snipers in Halo 2.
On Outskirts. Oh, my God, Outskirts. Leave me alone.
My sister and I, we actually frequently have competitions with Halo 2 where we just go in and play through every multiplayer map. And it's really highly amusing because one of the DLC maps was called Boneyard, and it's just pretty much just a wasteland that you're playing in. But you get a couple vehicles. The Ghost was in it. The Warthog was in it as well. I remember this was probably the last time that her and I had a Halo 2 multiplayer competition.
Boneyard was a map in Reach.
Okay,
yeah, I was gonna say,
what was the one I'm thinking of then? I thought it was something like that. I forget the name of it now.
I was just not going to say anything because I didn't play Halo 2 multiplayer a lot, and that might have been a map name.
Hold on. Sounds.
Boneyard was one of the maps in Halo Reach beta.
I remember that.
Map.
It was a good map, except when you tried to play anything but Invasion on it.
Burial Mounds.
That is a good map. I wish that would have been one of the levels to be redesigned instead of maybe Shrine or Warlock. I mean, lockout was going to get in, and you know it was. So, same with coagulation.
I don't have a whole lot of input here because I played a whopping 1 round of Halo 2 multiplayer while the servers were still up to get my emblem in Halo 3. Because I'd played Halo 2 a lot, but I had not had live at the time. So I just played. Yeah, I had played local in the campaign, but I never really played the multiplayer, which by all accounts I hear was great. Although from everything that I remember actually playing, it was a little buggy. But yeah, I remember Scorpions on coagulation. They could climb up all over the walls in weird, horrifying ways. And there was this one time my friend, he was up on the wall, and then the Guardians decided that they weren't huge fans of him. So they flung him across the map in this wildly spinning scorpion, alive, bouncing off of 3 of the 4 walls of coagulation until they kicked him up into the skybox and just destroyed him. It was kind of funny. But super bounces and things super bounces and things like that were also a thing. And I don't know, Halo 2 was probably what started Halo really along the competitive route. As far as multiplayer went, I don't feel like Halo 1 really had a whole lot to do with it, but 2 is gonna 2 being remastered is gonna be interesting. What have they said about the how the multiplayer is gonna play?
It's gonna play exactly like Halo 2 multiplayer did, the original Halo 2 multiplayer. Okay,
because I remember with the Halo Anniversary anyway.
Sorry,
multiplayer.
Just to interrupt here for a moment, the Evolve Alpha apparently is now live on the PS4.
Oh, that's cool.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Sorry.
Anyway, Halo 1 Anniversary, if I recall correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, basically wasn't it just skinned Reach? Or not even skinned Reach, it was just Reach with Halo 1 settings, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't even. It wasn't its own multiplayer. It was Reach's multiplayer, because when you clicked on multiplayer, it took
you to the Reach menu.
Yeah, exactly. It sent you to the Reach thing for the classic playlist.
No, the thing about that's not going to be the case in the Master Chief Collection. It's going to have every game's original multiplayer.
Yeah, that will be. I don't know how I feel about that.
Are you ready to get 3 shots from a pistol across the map?
I'm ready to be gently tapped by a ghost or something and explode.
The Warthog.
Yeah, the vehicle collision is my one of my only gripes about Halo 1's Halo 1's gameplay really. And I think I mentioned that in the review that we had just had posted up on the site. It's just the vehicle collision was just really
you did
was really buggy.
And then you mentioned it again in the Halo 2 review.
Yeah. Halo 2, because Halo 2 improved on it massively. It was awesome in Halo 2. Halo 1, you would just kind of get gently prodded by things.
That's hilarious. I remember my friend and I, we were playing the second level in the first Halo, and I was in the Warthog, and I was driving towards them and then turned at the last second, which normally, and I had never played much. I think this was in Combat Evolved Anniversary, so I had never played very much co-op campaign in back in 2001. So I didn't know about this at the time. So I did the skid, and then I'm still sliding, and the back bumper lightly taps him, and his body just went flying. I was like, oh, I'm sorry about that. I had no idea that was going to happen.
Yeah, depth physics.
I think it happened a few more times in the same level, just combined between the two of us, and it was very humorous.
Yep. Also, they didn't care when they hit you. In I think Halo 2 and forward, when they hit you, the vehicle would react. The vehicle would slow down a little bit, or in Halo 3, bump. You're an actual object with weight. In Halo 1, it would just phase right through you.
No, you're a Spartan. You have a lot of weight.
Yeah, apparently not in Halo 1. They disabled that in Halo
Yeah, 1,000-pound armor. Nope.
They turned off your weight generators in Halo 1.
Wait, how much does the Warthog weigh? Oh.
Heavy and a half.
Apparently enough to crush a Spartan, or to take out a chunk of a wall at a production studio. So,
I gotta look it up. Let's see. 52,000 credits for cost, 10 feet wide. Oh, okay. 3 metric tons. Yep, it's heavy.
It's slightly heavier than a Spartan.
slightly.
Yeah, 3 times heavier than a Spartan.
But back to what I was saying about burial mounts. This was the last time that my sister and I had a Halo 2 multiplayer competition, but I was in the Warthog, just driving around, minding my own business. She was off doing something else. This was a very close match between the two of us. And then I remember I think she was shooting at me with the machine gun turret. So I got out of the Warthog, and she ended up taking a few more shots at me, hitting the Warthog. But as I got out, I'm walking up the ramp, and she starts coming at me with a rocket launcher. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to die. And I think I ended up stepping out of the way at the last second, and she fired the rocket. Anyway, I ended up getting her, but I turned around to return to my Warthog. I turned around to just see it on fire, completely destroyed. And I think we were both staring at my screen for a second. We're like, oh, when did that happen? And then it occurred to us, oh, that's where the random rocket went. So
Halo 1, where your vehicle was fine so long as you could flip it over.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
unless it was like Ghost or Banshee.
Yeah, no, those are just get incinerated.
Those were very paper mache in the first Halo.
Dude, but getting a Banshee in the first Halo was awesome.
Right. Yeah.
The Wraith was not drivable in the first Halo, if I remember correctly, right?
Correct. It was not drivable, nor did it have any plasma cannons.
No,
so
it
it could
did.
only shoot its mortar at you. But I think
the Wraith in the first Halo had plasma cannons. Oh, wait, no, I'm getting
No,
confused.
not the
I'm
plasma
getting
turret.
confused. Yeah.
No, they added the plasma turret in the second one as a automated plasma turret for the Covenant, I think, and then
the player couldn't use it.
Yeah. Then the third one, they came to their senses and added the second turret, which frankly,
plasma cannon ring mount,
which frankly still couldn't compete even slightly with the Scorpion's turret, but
I mean, for those turrets in general are pretty worthless until Halo 4, when all turrets got a buff.
Yeah, I kind of just wish the plasma turret was just more useful, like throughout the series, except for the. I actually did like the shade in Halo Reach, and what was the first one in Halo 1? What was that?
The Halo 1 had the Type 29 shade.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot it was a shade, just a different kind of shade. I actually liked the shade turrets. They were menacing, but they still couldn't really do anything. Ooh, the AA Wraith is going to be there still in Halo 3, right?
Yeah, the campaign. Yeah.
I forget. Could you get the AA Wraith? No, you couldn't get the AA Wraith normally. You had to
glitch drive it.
Yeah, you had to glitch drive it.
Which that'll still be in there.
I hope so.
Yeah, still be in there.
Because the AA Wraith was one of the more fun things.
You couldn't use that in Forge, right?
No, AA Wraith was not available in Forge. I wish it was, because I would have broken so many maps with it.
Well, let's talk about the anniversary launch cinematic, which that was amazing.
It was very good.
That brought some tears to the eyes the first time I watched it. It just brought back so many old memories from the first time that I played Halo 2 back in 2004.
See,
so good.
The anniversary collection, or not the Master Chief collection, is going to be really interesting because it brings together all the multiplayer from 1, 2, 3, and 4 into one central place. Do you know how many times I've almost put my Halo 3 disc back in my 360 going I think Halo 3 would be fun to play, and realize there's only 200 people online anymore? or some nonsense like that. It's like I like having everybody on that one thing so that it's not diluted over the games anymore. If I want to play Halo 3 multiplayer, then I'll probably be able to find someone to play it. Which is kind of awesome because I was a huge fan of Halo 3's multiplayer.
We need more bubble shields.
Dude, bubble shields, yes. Now, I love the drop shield too. I will say that. The drop shield was a nice like I don't know. I did like the drop shield. I like how it was an armor ability. That's what I liked about it. But it will still never be the same as a bubble shield.
Oh yeah, because you could break it.
Yeah, it took like 2 tank shots to actually break though. But yeah, no, the bubble shield in Halo 3 was awesome. I can't wait to get back and like finding the maps that have like grav lifts and stuff on there, the other deployable equipment that people didn't use a whole lot. The power drain. Oh my god, I forgot that was a thing.
It's easy to get a lot of that stuff because Bungie ripped a lot of the equipment out of matchmaking because they couldn't make it where you couldn't jump on it for some reason. Like, you know, in Halo 4, you can't jump on the auto sentry.
Right.
For obvious reasons. Well, like, apparently Bungie couldn't figure that out for Halo 3 for, like, the player and the radar jammer. So, like, instead of trying to fix it, they're like, no, bad at matchmaking. Forever.
There's the additional fact that the more equipment they put on the map, it added like this weird exponential strain to the map. That's why you could break the Guardians because each one of the
you would do the
proximity mines.
The mines
just over and over again because each of them's their own individual object, and they took up an absurd amount of resources for just being a little like piece of like junk you throw on the ground. So they took out most of it. In I think a couple maps did have the power drain was the thing on a lot of maps.
Power drain usually got to stay.
The trip mine was a thing on some maps. The bubble shield, of course, and I don't think the grav lift really stayed.
Grav
in any
lift
of them,
was on Sand Trap.
Yeah, I was going to say like Sand Trap.
It doesn't really matter if you get up high. They're just going to get back earlier and shoot you anyway.
You know what I hope they bring back to Halo 3 in the MCC?
But
Rocket Race.
Rocket Race was a lot of fun.
I loved Rocket Race. That's all I played when they had the double EXP weekends with Rocket Race. That's all I did.
Dude, can they please do the double EXP weekends again?
Much rather it works, since double XP weekends were kind of all based on XP instead of the true skill that they're doing for MCC. Now, if they could just do that for the true skill, then that'd be fine by me.
Because I remember, like...
No point, you get 2.
I remember, like, getting onto Halo and being like, oh, hey, what's the double EXP weekend this week? And, like, just playing game types I would have normally not played just because it's on the double EXP.
Right. That's when they had Griffball and all that good stuff.
I'm looking forward to Halo 3's multiplayer again. I want to play Standoff again.
See, I wasn't really a big fan of Standoff because it was just one of those World War I maps.
Standoff. Okay, I will say I had way more fun on Standoff Heavy.
Yeah.
Standoff Heavy was a lot of fun. I can't wait for Avalanche again.
Avalanche was a lot of fun.
Avalanche was one of the best. Oh, and I can't wait for the return of Assault, by the way, because they took Assault out of Reach and 4, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes. Although I'm not really that big of a fan of Assault, so it didn't really hit me too hard. So.
Assault was one of my favorite game modes, so I was kind of devastated. A little devastated, just slightly.
Is that the one where you had to take the bomb?
Yeah, to plant the bomb at their base. And it could, like, Neutral Assault was one of my favorites because it was different. Because regular Assault was reverse capture the flag, and there was no real point to keep regular Assault. Neutral Assault, however, really added another gameplay mechanic to it because you had to get the bomb first. and there was only the one bomb to deal with, so you didn't have to worry about offense and defense at the same time normally. Anyway, but a lot of things I'm looking forward to in the Master Chief Collection.
Definitely. I think that's one thing they were expecting, at least to have the Master Chief Collection hit on an emotional level with a bunch of people, because
they're banking on nostalgia, of course.
Oh, it's going to bring up so many old memories, from the moments you load in Halo 2. Just the moments, I mentioned this in the Halo 2 review we posted, just the first moments that you find out that there's more than one Halo ring, and stepping onto Delta Halo for the first time. That the music that plays all throughout Delta Halo, that's some of my favorite music from any Halo game. It's just going to be amazing.
I think the one scene out of the one thing out of the entire series that I'm looking forward to seeing remastered was the ODST drop.
Oh yeah,
onto the ring.
Definitely.
That I'm looking forward to.
I love the part at the end of that where the Chief kicks open the door. Cortana's like, "Could you make any more noise?" Pulls out the rocket launcher.
Oh no, rocket launcher. That's right.
Yeah, she's like, "I guess so." In that moment when you have the rocket launcher, it's like, oh, okay, some serious stuff's about to go down.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Another interesting thing. This was one of my favorite scenes from Halo 3. So Halo 3 didn't receive as large of an update as the other ones, but it's definitely going to be cool to see, with a slight update at least, the scene where you're leaving Forward Unto Dawn, going into the Ark, and you're on the Pelican with Johnson, and they just show the view from the cockpit of the Pelican as you're dropping and everything. That was one of my favorite cutscenes from Halo 3. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that again. So, they did a walkthrough of Zenith, and Logan, I think this was the one that you didn't really care to see because we've seen a lot of Zenith before.
Yeah, I didn't watch the Zenith or Shrine walkthrough from IGN because we had pretty much when those maps were announced, we pretty much got to see a walkthrough from it. Someone, I'm not sure from who, but someone did a walkthrough of it. So I'm not gonna waste my time watching another walkthrough. I already know what the map's like. I know there's a double children's center for Zenith, and I know there's the waterfall for Shrine. That's a big thing.
Yeah, those are the big things. But
Guardian, the Pit, Narrows. I'm excited to get those maps back is what I'm excited about because Halo 3 I feel like had some of the best maps in as far as multiplayer is concerned for Halo. So I'm really excited to get a lot of those back.
Definitely. Actually, recently I've really wanted to put Halo 3 into my 360 and go into the multiplayer.
Yes, like I said, I get that feeling too, but there's nobody on, and the people who are on are like from pretty much every other country. I'm not kidding. It's just because they're just now getting like the 360 in like. I used to live overseas. That happens. It's like, oh, good. We just got. It was like 1995. Like no, it was like actually 2000. And they're like, oh, good. We're just now getting 80s rock. I'm like, wow. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's hard to play now because you can't find anybody good to play with, and even if you do have a group of people, you're not going to find anyone good to play against. So, yeah.
Hey, it can't be as bad as when you and I played Halo Wars, and in the 4 matches that we played, everybody quit.
Yeah.
2 of them, the first 2 times I just quit for whatever reason.
The third group of people, they decided
we got
to be,
through until we started to win.
The thing is, there were 2
I think
generals.
we were winning the entire time. Right.
No,
they were the highest.
They were 2 generals,
people.
and I'm like, oh, well, this is probably going to be a challenge.
And
then,
it was fine all the way through until they didn't do anything, and they were doing random things.
Right, I scouted them in the first minute to figure out what they were doing, and I didn't see any semblance of a strategy. It's like, okay,
and then
what are you doing?
The one suicide grunt attack that arrived at one of my bases blew up one supply base, and then they did nothing.
They eventually tried to hit us with a suicide grunt attack, and it was 10 suicide grunts, and you can tell he just kept mashing Y because they kept spasming around and couldn't actually execute the instruction. And they eventually got to his base, but
I'm pretty sure the suicide grunts were doing backflips as they were just running around my base.
Yeah,
it was blowing up.
It was pretty bad. They actually might have taken down his base. They got your core, your main structure down fairly low, but my engineer was just sitting there the whole time. What are you guys doing?
And then I had hundreds of thousands of resources, so I'm just drop health regen. Regen field, but it was shortly. Didn't we destroy one of their bases?
We did. I destroyed.
Okay,
they didn't. They didn't take one of the rebel bases, so I took it and just made it into a shield base because that's the most annoying thing you can do.
That was all the way across the map from you.
Yeah, it was right beside their base. So I decided the most annoying thing I could do here is be the Covenant, take the base, and put 7 shield generators on it.
Shortly after that, they quit.
Yeah.
And then the fourth and final one that we played that night, they just started and then quit.
Yeah, we were playing on the docks. They started and then just left immediately. I was a Covenant. I was going to go Banshees, and that would have been fun. But
granted, the first 2 times, the first 2 matches were with the same people that quit. So,
yep. Anywho.
Yeah, it was very neat. So, now Halo 3 is actually going to be populated again.
Yeah, it's purely because the 360 just wasn't the console of choice anymore. It's the Xbox One was what people were on, the newer generations, so trying to find a match in things like Halo Wars or Halo 3 is difficult.
Right. Which there still are those rumors for Halo Wars 2 and also rumors of getting ODST and Reach on the Xbox One.
Don't do that. You're getting my hopes up.
I think everybody's hopes are up, even if they don't want to admit it, because I would really like to see ODST.
The 2 games that were omitted from the Master Chief Collection, for obvious reasons, because it's the Master Chief Collection, were the 2 games in the Halo series I felt that had the best storytelling out of them. Reach and ODST both had phenomenal storytelling behind them and were very they're very engaging, they're very interesting, and they were different, and I really do want to see those on Xbox One, but whether or not that's going to happen is debatable.
I love the ending of ODST where Johnson throws the lighter towards the engineer, and everyone's like, wait, no, I'm thinking it's just going to blow up.
Well, I mean, buoyant gases,
which
flammable.
ODST had 2 really good achievements. One for killing every engineer as you're walking around New Mombasa at night, and then one for saving them, not killing.
Yeah, you literally had to play through it twice.
You did. It was very amusing to do that.
I was trying to find all the freaking engineers because I would they're just areas you don't need to access in New Mombasa. And it's just there's an engineer there. Where's my plasma pistol?
I like the supply catches that you could go to, and there are various weapons scattered throughout the city.
I didn't realize until halfway through the game that the superintendent was that Virgil was actually helping me out. Because I started noticing the signs and stuff will point to things, and I'm like, wait,
go this way.
He's literally telling me where to go.
Right. So lots of good memories in Master Chief Collection. Actually, I think maybe next week's episode, the Master Chief Collection will have been released.
Neat.
So, yeah. It's going to be,
We'll probably
of
be
course,
talking about
of course, that's going to be the awkward moment where recording the episode, there is no, unless we do what we did for Destiny, where we just recorded Wednesday night.
We could
possibly.
do that.
It's a possibility. Or Tuesday night. One of those. Probably Tuesday night. We could record Tuesday night, as everybody's probably going to be dead tired from being up since before, well, being up Monday morning at some various time. So, yeah, let's record that Tuesday night. Of course, like we said multiple times, once we get enough interest and viewers with the podcast, we'll actually move to possible live streaming of the episode. So we'll actually be recording and everything on Thursday instead of Sunday and releasing on Thursday.
Then we can avoid this whole temporal anomaly thing we have going on.
And the post shows, because I've at least caught myself multiple times, at least the past a lot last month, where I'd be saying something at the end of the podcast like right now, and it's like, oh, but that's going to be totally irrelevant when this releases, so never mind. So,
that's okay.
We're
time travelers, and it gets confusing sometimes.
We are time travelers, yes. So, once we actually get to that point, hopefully 2015, can stop having these weird lapses in time, and can avoid doing post shows just randomly added at the end, like, hey, yeah, this was announced in the entire time that in between now and everything, and yeah. So hopefully we can throw those away shortly here. So I think, as it was being discussed, we're probably going to have our last episode for this year, at least, the week before Christmas. So then there'll be 2 weeks of no episode. Probably come back on January 8th. Maybe we'll have probably not live streaming with then, but hopefully by February of next year, maybe live streaming
We'll figure.
the episodes. But at least the last episode for 2014, which will release on December 18th, that's going to be our little reward show. So, or award show. So we're going to be going through, what our game of the year is, what our favorite FPS is, RPG.
Now, this is going to be an interesting selection process, because we're all going to be disagreeing on all of them.
Of course, that's what makes it fun. So, yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting. I know what my nomination for Game of the Year is. Terence is probably going to nominate Bayonetta 2. I think that's probably a given. But so it's going to be interesting to see how we come up with the process of how to do that.
Yeah, we'll have votes. Actually, we have enough people that we could probably just do votes.
We could, and plus we have over a month to come up with this stuff. So
yep.
Yeah, that will end things for our first episode of Halo Month now, as we are broadcasting from the UNSC Infinity, as they so graciously decided to accommodate us.
They're kind of upset that we're taking up their comm room this entire time.
A little bit, but it's all for good reasoning.
That's what I keep telling them.
Yes, they should know it. They should know it. It's all for the fun. So
it's for morale.
It's for team morale. Team morale, especially with the entire GameStop store on hand.
Yeah.
Pre-show. So, we talked about our favorite moments from the Halo franchise and Halo 2, just kind of periodically throughout the podcast. So it was all thrown in there. So we will see you with episode 13, Halo Month episode 2, next week. And we'll actually have the Master Chief Collection. Unless we're too busy playing, in which case there will be no podcast. Anybody have anything that they want to throw out here at the end?
Not really. Just waiting on the Master Chief Collection. We'll have a lot more to say about it once it's out.
Yeah. Because we'll actually have Halo 2 Anniversary.
Yep.
Logan, when you get the game, what are you going to play first?
I'm not sure. Whatever I need to play to be able to see those, the prologue and epilogue of the MCC. We still don't know how you see it. Do you start with the first Halo Combat Evolved mission, or do you start with the first mission in Halo 2? I mean, we don't know.
I think I'm going to probably just do them in order.
I think so. Yeah,
I mean, you can see it going either way though.
I really want to play Halo 2 Anniversary, but at the same time,
well, we could just sprint through Halo 1's Legendary because it wasn't that bad.
We'll have the bandana
jackals. Those freaking clunky jackals.
You remember?
Wait, no, we won't have the bandana skull. We'll have to find that. Never mind.
There was a off topic. There was a poll on Bungie.net at one point that said, which Halo game had the hardest Legendary? You know what won? Halo 3.
Halo 3. I can see that.
Halo 3 won at like 60% because no one had ever played the other ones. I could tell that was the reason. I'm like, nobody would be voting for Halo 3 if you've even played Halo 2.
Oh, I remember when I still lived in Illinois. I think 4 of us were at a friend's house. And since Halo 2's campaign is only co-op, we kicked it onto Legendary and started playing the first mission where you're on Earth.
Yeah. Outskirts, right?
Station.
Outskirts was the second one.
Wait, what was the first one?
Pyro Station.
No.
No.
Like
Pyro
do something
Station is
around.
before. Yeah, this is the first one on Earth.
Oh, the Outskirts.
I thought it was Outskirts,
Was it Outskirts? So what was the second one?
Metropolis.
Right, Metropolis.
Yeah, Outskirts is right after you get dropped off by the Pelican.
Right. We didn't even get through the doorway. You crash in the Pelican. You enter in that small little hallway where you go down. We managed to finally kill all the grunts, but we didn't make it through that doorway. So, granted, I think we were all like,
dude,
oh gosh, I don't
the
even
one
know.
time I got past Cairo Station, I was happy.
Yeah, Halo 2 Legendary. It's gonna be fun. Find those skulls, people. We'll have an easier time, most likely. Lasso will be fun.
No, it won't.
At least
Are
we
they
get
going to
to
keep
that.
Iron working the same as it did in Halo 2?
Probably.
Because Iron in Halo 2 was a nightmare.
It's just gonna be fantastic. I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I just had a very mouth-watering moment as I think about the excellent Chinese food I'm going to have for lunch tomorrow. P.F. Chang's. Sorry, that just randomly popped into my head. For some reason, as we're talking about Cairo Station, I'm like, ooh, I could really go for some Chinese food right now. I've made it just random, very off topic, but on topic of Chinese food. I have made it a tradition now, at least in my life, that before attending and or working at a midnight release for a video game, I will have Panda Express. It's kind of a tradition. So, at least forever, whoever is going to you'll be going to the midnight, Jeremy. So, at least before we head off to the MCC midnight release next Monday, we should definitely meet up for some Panda Express.
I think that sounds fair.
That would be good.
Also Chinese food now.
Maybe anybody who listens to this podcast will want Chinese food. So in that
Suddenly,
case,
P.F. Chang
sorry.
sales skyrocket.
just like at the end of after Avengers was released, shawarma sales rose.
No, because that's the first time anyone has heard of shawarma.
I've never heard of shawarma. I still haven't had shawarma. I've been trying to find shawarma.
Because you won't go to the Casbah, and it has amazing shawarma.
Yeah. I think I found a place that has shawarma. I'm not sure. I can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, still need to have shawarma. Definitely gonna have Chinese food twice at least in the next 2 weeks. So that will wrap things up for the episode. And Jamie criticizes us for these long goodbyes, but these are some of the best parts. So, we will see everybody next week at episode 13, lucky number 13. So, we'll have the MCC collection. We'll be playing it. Might be too busy playing it to record the podcast. You never know. So, we may or may not see you next week for episode 13. So, goodbye, everybody. What's up, everybody? Alex O'Connor here with your post-show for episode 12. Halo Month is fully underway, and we are gearing up for the release of the Master Chief Collection next Tuesday. Next week's episode, we are going to be talking, of course, about the Master Chief Collection, and we will also be discussing on how The Witcher 3 will have 16 free DLCs. Yes, you heard that right. 16 free DLCs. We look forward to bringing you episode 13 next week, and also announcing the winner of the Master Chief Collection giveaway this Saturday.